Where our backyards meet the backwoods,
Hi, Blossom.
some familiar figures have long made themselves at home.
We as humans have created pretty much the perfect habitat for deer.
White-tailed deer find the suburbs a safety zone. But how well do we know these backyard buddies?
Sometimes they'll freeze and lock up for even 2, 3, 4 minutes.
It's time to take a closer look at the private life of one of our closest neighbors.
When filming, I'll see them stomp. They'll do that to get the attention of other deer, to alert them that something might be dangerous.
New perspectives reveal a complex society.
We saw a lot of antagonistic kind of behavior that we might have expected between males during the breeding season, but we also saw that kind of interaction among females as well.
And a rare vision that roams North American woods.
It stood for 5 seconds maybe, eyed me, and took off and was gone.
For 3 million years, they've roamed the woodlands. And we're still just trying to figure them out. The white-tailed deer.
Believe it or not, we're right near a major road, but there's a big buck right over here, so I'm gonna get my little outfit out and see if he'll put up with me.
Cameraman Mark Emery has been filming whitetail for the past decade, tracking them through forests and meadows. He knows that familiar as they are, still the whitetail keep their distance. Every time Mark films them, he gets a first-hand glimpse of their jittery grace.
I've been coming in this area for about 2 weeks now, just sitting with these guys. And we sat here about 20, 30 minutes before they came up to eat grass right in here. And as long as you make your movements very slow and take your time, they'll stay around for a while. And if you do something a little goofy, boom, they'll take off.
For Mark, it's a familiar pattern when man meets deer. The quick head jerk. The skittish movement. The gaze into the distance. All the senses are at work. Surprisingly, the deer aren't seeing much of anything at all. Nearly blind by human standards, deer have trouble seeing defined shapes. All they can really make out is movement. To compensate, they've developed their other senses. Their hearing is finely tuned, and their remarkable sense of smell can pick out odors hundreds of yards away. The nose of the white-tailed deer has nearly 300 million olfactory receptors, compared to just 5 million for humans. That's more than even the legendary bloodhound. And when a deer smells danger, it passes that information on, as Mark notices every time he gets too close.
When filming, I'll see them stomp. They'll do that to get the attention of other deer, to alert them that something might be dangerous.
The white tail for which they are named is not just decorative. It's a key feature for communication.
I've seen the tail come up slowly, as though the deer is saying, I see something I don't really care for. And then you get this nervous twitching.
When the tail goes up, it's a signal for all around. A white flag saying time to retreat. White-tailed deer may seem elusive, secretive, but there's a reason. They live on the boundaries, the borderlands, making a home for themselves in the places between worlds, the spaces between the wilderness and the man-made. It's the habitat known as the edge, where farms meet the forest, and backyards meet the backwoods. Ironically, the human clearing that might harm other species or deprive them of living space works the exact opposite way for the adaptable deer. It allows them to succeed, even thrive. Some say they may be doing too well. Just a century ago, there were less than 1 million deer in North America. Today, there are nearly 30 million. No wonder it seems they're moving in right down the block. Nowhere are the deer more at home than next door, in the suburbs.
We as humans have created pretty much the perfect habitat for deer. These are areas that have a wide diversity of plants that deer can eat versus, say, a rural forest.
One town that knows all too well about the deer, Cayuga Heights, New York.
We know that in Cayuga Heights, in general, we have about 100 deer per square mile. What we need is far less than 100 per square mile, probably more like 5 per square mile.
With no predators and unlimited food, this is the perfect home for animals that spend most of their lives in an area of just 1 square mile. That's why residents see the same deer family year after year.
They walk through my yard and eat everything here.
It's almost like watching them come into a buffet.
I'll pull up into the driveway and see 8 to 10 deer, and they kind of look at me like, hey, welcome home.
So there's some deer up here in the yard, and we're gonna go try and get them on film.
We gave cameras to a number of Cayuga homeowners over a 3-month period to capture the behaviors they see every day. The goal? To gain a new understanding of wild deer's actions in the suburban world.
Well, good morning. I think this one's a little timid.
The first places the deer show up? Anywhere there's something edible. What makes the whitetail such a challenge to backyard gardeners is they eat almost anything. Nearly 600 different species of plants. Grasses, acorns, fruits. In times of scarcity, they will consume twigs and bark, even poison ivy. Incredibly, they've also been spotted eating nestling songbirds. And very little deters them.
We're in the backyard, on the side. The fence is 6 feet high, and they have jumped over it, which amazed us.
As you can see, we had to install this fence to keep the deer out of our yard. This is a 6-foot fence, which actually is somewhat inadequate.
White-tailed deer will jump in the wild. They use this technique to evade predators and to just overcome an obstacle that's in their way.
We had to build a really tall fence because deer were continuously jumping over it.
Deer can jump over an 8-foot obstacle. Sometimes from a running start, they can clear a bit more than that.
It's no wonder a fence isn't much of a deterrent. The deer need to consume up to 7 pounds of food a day. But these voracious eaters don't have upper front teeth. They chew